Brett Yormark on Big 12 expansion. Over the course of the not too distant future, I would expect things to happen. George Kliavkoff says in the new media rights deal has been held up not only because of the University of California Board of Regents, but the hiring of Deion Sanders. Why would we do a media deal before that? He absolutely adds value to the league. We're going to be talking about Kliavkoff and Yormark here at episode 112. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. Before we get into it, smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. And please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Thank you so very much. Let's talk about George Kliavkoff first. And the whole situation with the Pac-12, UCLA, and then we'll get on to Brett Yormark. Here's Dennis Dodd. News last night. A whole bunch of stuff broke last night. I'm sure you are well aware of. News, George Kliavkoff's new media rights deal has been held up not only because of the University of California Regents, but the hiring of Deion Sanders. Why would we do a media deal before that? He absolutely adds value to the league. The hiring of a coach would impact what could be a 10-figure deal. Really? George Kliavkoff, you're saying strategically you held off on finishing up the media deal rights for the Pac-12 because you knew in advance that the Colorado Buffaloes would be hiring Deion Sanders? Come on. No one is buying that. Just like no one bought the fact that when you said a couple months ago that UCLA would lose money, not just stay even, but lose money if they joined the Big Ten in 2024. I'm not sure what he's doing here. He's throwing out comments that are comical. I know he's a smart guy. He's a good guy. Everybody respects him. But these type of comments, they hurt his standing. Forget about outside the Pac-12, inside the Pac-12. No one is buying this. No one is buying the statement. So why do you say it? The Pac-12 media rights deal has been held up because, first of all, you were in an exclusive window with ESPN and Fox, and they didn't give you the deal that you wanted. So you went outside the exclusive window. That's fine. And now you're sitting here waiting for the University of California Board of Regents to make their final decision on UCLA's entry into the Big Ten in 2024. Okay, that's understandable. It hurts your negotiations for right now, but that's understandable. Brett Yormark comes through and moves up his Big 12 negotiations 12 to 18 months, gets a deal done with Fox and ESPN, and we'll get to that in a moment. But remember, Brett Yormark said in public, I think we're going to get a deal done here, a new media deal done in a couple weeks. It could happen. I feel good about it. And what happens? It happened. See, that adds credibility to Brett Yormark, which is very crucial and about what we're going to talk about later in this episode. But Kliavkoff, again, let me read this tweet that you can see out in front from Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. George Kliavkoff says new media rights deal has been held up not only because of UC Regents, but the hiring of Deion Sanders. George Kliavkoff says, why would we do a media deal before that? He absolutely adds value to the league. I mean, that's just fantasy. You did not hold up the Pac-12 media deal with possible new media partners because of the hiring of Deion Sanders that just came about in the last couple weeks. It's a comical statement. Put down your thoughts in the comments section. I read them all. Let me know what you think. And let's get going forward to let's go off of that for a moment and let's hit on this UCLA situation with the University of California Board of Regents. We've been talking about it here at Peek Around the Corner. We're going to continue to talk about it. December 14th, we're going to have a live show during the Board of Regents new meeting, December 14th. And supposedly that's the day they decide if they're going to block UCLA's entry in the Big Ten, or if they're going to toll tax them, cripple them, or if they're going to do nothing at all to UCLA's attempt to get to the Big Ten in 2024. Here's an article that I wanted to bring up. This broke last night. Chris Vanini, his tweet, the National College Players Association, a players' rights group, asked the University of California Regents to oppose UCLA's move to the Big Ten. Director Ramaji Huma, a former, and I apologize if I got the name incorrect, a former UCLA football player, says this move is short-sighted, a money grab that will harm college athletes in several ways. Now, we're not going to go through this whole thing. I am going to put a link in the description box below the video if you all want to read it. I'm just going to go through. I think this is important, not because of this action directly, but what it could give cover to as far as possible some state senators in the state of California. No amount, I'm going to read here what the Players Association said. No amount of school spirit and belief would change the fact that if UCLA leaves the Pac-12 for the Big Ten, UCLA athletes will go from having 1 in the 212 chance of winning a conference championship to 1 in the 16 chance of winning a conference championship. It's also notable UCLA currently has one of the most talented football teams. It's not quite time, but was unable to win a conference championship nonetheless. It goes on to talk about the money. It goes on to talk about a lot of issues. So please read that. Please read that article. It talks about the Student Athletic Bill of Rights, the academic harm and racial exploitation. So you go ahead and read that article. I want to bring this up, not because I believe that the National College Players Association is going to be able to push the University of California Board of Regents to actually block UCLA's move to go to the Big Ten in 2024. I bring this National College Players Association rights group and their written document that they released last night. I'm bringing it up on this show this morning here at Peek Around the Corner, because I think this is an attempt to obviously stop UCLA's move, but to give cover to those who can stop the move, right? And I'm directly pointing at state senators in California. There's been reports, there's been some steam that there are some state senators in particular who want to draft a bill in the state of California legislature to stop UCLA's move to the Big Ten for the good of the student athletes. I think this coming out at this time, the National College Players Association, was probably in some coordination. The people are lining up pro and con of UCLA's move to the Big Ten. This is a push by those who do not want it have happen. And I think this is going to give some cover to some politicians to attempt to draft a bill. We're going to watch for that here at Peek Around the Corner. Stick with us in this ever-growing story about the attempt to block UCLA's going to the Big Ten. Unprecedented move by some in the Board of Regents, and some in the state legislature, and some outside groups, just like the National College Players Association. Again, put your comments down in the comments section below the video. We're going to be covering this and other stuff here on the live show tonight, Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Central. Join us there. Now, let's get to even a bigger story. Brett Yormark on expansion last night. Over the course of the not too distant future, I would expect things to happen. This is from the Dennis Dodd, CBS Reports, tweeted this out late last night. Brett Yormark on expansion. Over the course of the not too distant future, I would expect things to happen. Now remember, unlike Kliavkoff, Brett Yormark, when he had said something in public, it's happened, which has only built his credibility outside the Big 12, but even more importantly, inside the Big 12, where they're all aligned, where they all backed him on the ESPN and Fox Sports media deal, where they've all signed a grant of rights, where they all have been backing him on the idea of a national conference all the way from east to west to try to get that fourth window open, that TV window open. Right? So when he says over the course of the not too distant future, I would expect things to happen. Now, exactly what does he expect to happen? Kind of leaves that open, right? Let's look at Brett McMurphy's tweet of late last night. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark on the Big 12's 4 new schools and what lies ahead. We love to get into that 4th Pacific time zone. And we will at some point. Oh, they're going to. They're going to. Now, what is it going to be? Basketball, football, or both? Basketball, football, or both for that 4th time window? The answer is it's going to be both. Eventually, at some point. This is the compass. This is the direction that Brett Yormark has put forth to the Big 12 presidents, and they are aligned. Fox Sports and ESPN are aligned with this vision. Let's take a look at Nicole Auerbach's tweet late last night. Asked about Gonzaga specifically. Brett Yormark, if there's a standalone basketball opportunity there that creates value for the conference, excellent. If basketball comes with football, great. For us, it's all about value creation. So this 4th time window that Brett Yormark wants to create, he wants it in basketball. We talked about this at Peek Around the Corner. We gave you some intel about last week about look for a decision to be made from the end of November to the end of January. There is a time shelf. There is a timetable on this because Fox Sports wants Gonzaga to be part of the Big 12 basketball conference. The Fox Sports just got Big 12's basketball content here in this next contract. So Big 12 wants Gonzaga. Big 12 wants Gonzaga. Fox Sports wants Gonzaga. It's up to Gonzaga, and the decision will be made before the end of January. And then Brett Yormark said a couple of days ago, we had that a week ago. Brett Yormark said a couple of days ago, we'll continue to talk to Gonzaga. And then when he's asked specifically about Gonzaga, Brett Yormark says if there's a standalone basketball opportunity outside of the football opportunity, that if it creates value for the conference, excellent. And Gonzaga would create value for the conference because it gives them that 4th time window in the basketball space. Brett Yormark says, if basketball comes with football, great. For us, it's all about value creation. See, Brett Yormark, what's he doing is, first of all, he's built his credibility by saying stuff and then it happens. In public, and then it happens. Remember, going back to the ESPN, Fox Sports, media negotiations, Brett Yormark said, I think we're going to get this done. We could get this done. It's going good. It's going good. And people say, nah, he'll put it off. He won't strike a deal now. But what happened? Brett Yormark struck the deal. He struck the deal with Fox Sports and ESPN. And Fox Sports wants Gonzaga. Now, what do we take of Brett Yormark keep bringing up football, getting into that 4th time window? He's going to get there. He's talked about it too many times in public and specifically, right? He knows about his credibility. He has it now. He has his credibility. He's got the momentum. It might not happen in the football expansion. It might not happen here in the next couple months. But you got to know, you got to feel that Brett Yormark is going to do all he can and he will eventually get it done. Maybe it's not about one of those four corner schools in the Big 12. If he can't get one or two of those, maybe it's somebody else. Remember, George Kliavkoff just said last night that the Pac-12 will not look at expansion until they get their deal signed, sealed, and delivered, their new media deal. And that's not going to happen until at least this next January or February in 2023. Brett Yormark can act now because he got the deal done with Fox Sports and ESPN. Big 12 has already signed their deal. Their schools have already signed their grant of rights. Brett Yormark has already been in negotiations with Fox Sports about Gonzaga, and you know he's been talking about ESPN and Fox Sports about the potential of grabbing one or two or three or four of those four corner schools in the Pac-12. Because the pro rata clause is built into the Big 12 media deal. Lots of things happening. Lots of stuff going on in the background. Again, just end it with this. Episode 112. Brett Yormark on expansion. Over the course of the not too distant future, I would expect things to happen. Just like Brett Yormark expected to get the media deal done with Fox Sports and ESPN. He expected it to happen, and it happened. Again, he's saying, over the course, Brett Yormark, over the course of the not too distant future, I would expect things to happen. So you know what? We at Peek Around the Corner expect things to happen. And we think you should too. Stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we've been following this story. We're going to be following the George Kliavkoff and the Pac-12, the UCLA, University of California Board of Regents story. We're going to be doing a live, explosive live show tonight. Join us at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.